1,000 years, that's less time than you think. 1,000 years ago, humans were fighting with swords, terrified of storms, and dying from infected cuts. We had no electricity, no internet, no airplanes, no idea what galaxies even were. And yet here you are, a human from the future. A creature so technologically powerful that you can speak instantly across the planet, create artificial intelligence, and look back in time using giant space telescopes. Now imagine humans 1,000 years from today. What will they become? Will humanity spread across the stars? Will we merge with machines? Will we destroy ourselves? Or will our descendants look at us the same way we look at cave people? Because whether we realize it or not, humanity is changing faster than ever before. And the next 1,000 years may completely transform what it means to be human. The strange moment we're living in right now, humanity is in a very weird phase. For almost all of human history, change was slow. A person born in ancient Egypt probably lived almost exactly like their grandparents. The same tools, the same beliefs, the same dangers. But then something changed. About 200 years ago, humans discovered fossil fuels, industrial machines, electricity, and eventually computers. And suddenly, civilization exploded. The average human life changed more in the last century than in the previous 10,000 years combined. That's important because technological progress doesn't move in straight lines. It moves exponentially, which means the future arrives slowly at first, and then all at once. Think about artificial intelligence. A few years ago, AI could barely recognize images correctly. Now it can generate art, write essays, mimic voices, and help create scientific discoveries. And this is probably just the beginning. The terrifying thing about exponential growth is that humans are terrible at understanding it. We think linearly, but reality doesn't care what feels intuitive. A civilization advancing exponentially may eventually become almost unrecognizable within only a few centuries. And if humanity survives long enough, the next 1,000 years could feel less like history and more like evolution. The first 100 years, the age of artificial minds, the next century will probably redefine intelligence itself. Today, humans are the smartest beings on Earth. But for the first time in history, we are creating minds that may eventually surpass our own. Not because they are alive, but because they can improve faster than biology ever could. Your brain is incredibly powerful, but it was built for survival in small tribes on dangerous African plains. It evolved to throw spears, to fear snakes, to recognize faces. Not to understand quantum mechanics or manage planetary civilizations. Artificial intelligence has no such limits. It does not sleep, it does not get tired, it does not forget. And eventually AI systems may become better than humans at nearly every intellectual task. Science, engineering, medicine, economics, war, even creativity itself. This could create the greatest explosion of progress in human history. Diseases may disappear. Aging could slow dramatically. Energy may become almost limitless. Poverty might collapse under automated abundance. But there's another possibility. Humans may lose control, not because AI becomes evil, but because intelligence itself is power. And when something smarter than you exists, you may no longer fully shape your own future. Imagine trying to explain modern politics to a chimpanzee. That gap in understanding may eventually exist between humans and machine intelligence. And once intelligence begins improving itself, the process may accelerate beyond comprehension. This is called the intelligence explosion. And if it happens, human history could split into two eras, before superintelligence and after it. The end of human work for thousands of years, survival depended on labor. Humans worked farms, built roads, fought wars, manufactured products, but automation is slowly changing this. At first, machines replaced physical labor. Now they are replacing cognitive labor too. Writers, programmers, designers, doctors, lawyers, teachers. Entire industries may become mostly automated. At first, this sounds amazing. No more exhausting jobs, no more dangerous labor, no more poverty. But human psychology evolved around struggle and purpose. People want meaning. Without it, societies become unstable. What happens when billions of humans are no longer economically necessary? This is one of the greatest unanswered questions in civilization. Maybe humanity enters a golden age of creativity, or maybe boredom, inequality, and social collapse explode, because humans do not only need survival, we need purpose. And the future may force us to reinvent what purpose actually means. The rise of genetic civilization. For all of history, evolution was random. Natural selection slowly shaped life through death and survival. But humanity is approaching something extraordinary, the ability to control evolution itself. Genetic engineering may eventually eliminate inherited diseases. Children could be born healthier, stronger, and more intelligent. Memory might improve, aging may slow. Physical limitations could disappear. At first, these changes may seem small, but over centuries, engineered humans may diverge dramatically from modern humans. Imagine two civilizations. One embraces genetic enhancement, the other bans it. After generations, their capabilities may become radically different. One group could think faster, live longer, resist disease, adapt better to space environments. The other may struggle to compete. This creates terrifying ethical questions. Will enhanced humans still see themselves as human? Will inequality become biological? Could entirely new species emerge from humanity itself? For the first time in Earth's history, evolution may become a conscious decision. And once humans can redesign themselves, there may be no going back. Humanity leaves Earth. Earth feels enormous, but on a cosmic scale it is tiny, a fragile rock orbiting an ordinary star. And one day Earth will die, not tomorrow, not soon, but eventually. Asteroids, supervolcanoes, climate instability, nuclear war, artificial intelligence, pandemics. Or billions of years from now, the death of the sun itself. If humanity wants to survive long enough, it cannot remain on one planet forever. So sooner or later, humans will spread into space. At first, space colonization will be difficult. Tiny stations, dangerous radiation, artificial ecosystems, psychological isolation. But human beings are unbelievably adaptable. Within centuries, permanent settlements may exist on Mars, moons of Jupiter, or giant rotating space habitats. And eventually, humanity may split into multiple civilizations separated by millions of kilometers. This changes everything. Because once humans become multiplanetary, extinction becomes much harder. Civilization gains redundancy, like backups for humanity itself. But distance also changes identity. Martian humans may develop different cultures, different biology, different politics. Eventually, they may stop thinking of themselves as Earthlings at all. Humanity may become a family of civilizations spread across the solar system, and later, perhaps even the stars. The loneliness problem. But space has a dark side. The universe is horrifyingly empty. Even traveling at incredible speeds, nearby stars remain unimaginably far away. Interstellar civilization may be painfully slow. A message to another star system could take years. A journey may take generations. Humans evolved for Earth, for blue skies, gravity, forests, oceans, birdsong, not endless metal corridors floating through eternal darkness. The psychological cost of deep space may be enormous. Future humans may spend entire lives inside artificial worlds. Children born on spaceships may never touch real soil. Some humans may eventually choose digital existence instead, uploading consciousness into virtual environments, living inside simulations where anything is possible. And if virtual worlds become more pleasurable than reality, physical civilization itself may begin to disappear. Why struggle in harsh reality when infinite artificial paradise exists? This creates another terrifying possibility. Humanity may survive physically, but abandon the real universe entirely. The war between freedom and stability. As civilization becomes more advanced, control becomes more tempting. Modern societies already track massive amounts of data. Where you go, what you buy, what you watch, what you think. Future governments and AI systems may become vastly more powerful. Imagine surveillance systems capable of predicting crimes before they happen. AI governments managing economies better than humans ever could. Algorithms deciding who is dangerous, who deserves resources, who should have influence. Some people may welcome this. Perfect stability, perfect efficiency. Less crime, less suffering. But there's a danger. Human freedom is messy, and civilizations obsessed with stability sometimes sacrifice individuality. The future may become a struggle between two visions of humanity. One prioritizes freedom, the other prioritizes optimization, and once powerful systems exist, removing them may become impossible. The scariest dictatorships in history controlled newspapers and radios. Future systems may control reality itself. Climate, survival, and adaptation, the next 1,000 years will also test humanity physically. Climate change alone may reshape coastlines, ecosystems, economies, and migration patterns. But humans are survivors. Civilizations collapse, then new ones emerge. Again and again, future cities may float on oceans. Deserts could become solar-powered megaregions. Artificial food systems may feed billions. Humans may engineer ecosystems directly. Weather itself might become partially controllable, but adaptation creates strange consequences. The more humans control nature, the more civilization depends on fragile technological systems. Today, billions survive only because global infrastructure functions correctly. Electricity, internet, supply chains, satellites. Future civilization may become even more interconnected, and highly interconnected systems can become dangerously fragile. One failure can cascade everywhere. The more advanced humanity becomes, the more catastrophic mistakes may become. The search for meaning, but perhaps the biggest future challenge, is not technological, it's emotional. Humans are meaning-seeking creatures. For thousands of years, religion, survival, family, and community gave people purpose. But advanced civilizations often weaken traditional structures. People become richer, safer, longer-lived, and strangely, sometimes less fulfilled. The future may solve many physical problems while creating psychological ones humanity has never faced before. If suffering decreases, what motivates people? If death becomes optional, how does life change? If AI can create infinite entertainment, will humans stop pursuing difficult goals? And if humanity gains godlike power, will we be wise enough to use it? The future is not just about technology, it's about maturity. A civilization capable of destroying planets must eventually learn emotional stability too. Otherwise, intelligence becomes dangerous. The great filter there is another terrifying possibility. Maybe most civilizations never survive this stage. This idea is called the great filter. The theory suggests intelligent species often destroy themselves before reaching interstellar civilization. Maybe advanced technology always creates existential risks. Artificial intelligence, biological engineering, climate collapse, nuclear war, self-replicating machines. A civilization only needs to fail once, and the universe stays silent forever. This could explain why we see no aliens. Maybe intelligent life is extremely rare. Or maybe civilizations repeatedly destroy themselves before spreading far enough to matter. And if that's true, humanity may currently be passing through the most dangerous moment in its entire existence. A narrow corridor between primitive survival and long-term civilization. The next few centuries may determine everything, not just for humans alive today, but for trillions of future humans who may one day exist. The best possible future, but there's another possibility. Humanity succeeds. We survive our dangerous adolescence. We learn cooperation before destruction. We use intelligence responsibly. We reduce suffering, protect consciousness, preserve beauty, and slowly spread life across dead worlds. Imagine future civilizations millions of times richer than ours, cities floating in space, artificial suns, consciousness expanded beyond biology. Worlds designed for joy, art, learning, and exploration. Perhaps humanity eventually becomes something almost impossible for us to imagine, not because we abandon our humanity, but because we finally fulfill its potential. And maybe one day, far in the future, descendants of humanity will stand beneath alien stars, looking back toward Earth. Toward the tiny world where everything began. A small blue planet filled with confused, frightened, hopeful creatures who almost destroyed themselves many times, but survived. Ending the next 1,000 years are not written yet. Humanity could collapse, transform, expand, or evolve into something completely beyond modern understanding. The future will not be decided by destiny. It will be decided by choices, the technologies we build, the values we protect, the wisdom we develop, and whether intelligence becomes powerful faster than it becomes compassionate. Because 1,000 years from now, human beings may look back at us the same way we look at our distant ancestors. Primitive, emotional, violent, confused, but also extraordinary. Because despite all our flaws, we are the generation standing at the edge of the future. And whatever happens next, humanity's story may only be beginning.